Let me guess, you've tried to understand macros and calories online and somehow ended up feeling more confused than when you started. One bloke says count every gram, another says carbs make you fat, then someone else says calories don't matter, hormones do. No wonder most blokes just give up and order takeout. Today, I'm breaking this down properly. No influencer nonsense, just what actually matters and how to apply it without turning your life into a spreadsheet. I remember when I first got into this stuff, I downloaded MyFitnessPal, tried tracking everything perfectly, lasted about 5 days. Then I'd feel guilty, then I'd binge, and then I'd start again on Monday. And I'd realize something. It wasn't that I lacked discipline, it was that no one explained the basics in a way that a bloke would understand. So let's fix that. Part 1, calories. Calories are just energy, that's it. Your body burns energy to stay alive, think, walk, train, and recover. If you eat more energy than you burn, you gain weight. If you eat less, you lose weight. It's not a belief system, it's physics. So let's say, if you eat 3,000 calories in a day, but only burn 2,500, that extra 500 doesn't disappear, your body stores it. Does that mean calories are the only thing that matters? No, but they're the scorecard. Part 2, macros. Calories come from 3 macronutrients: proteins, carbs, and fats. Each does something different. Protein. Protein is your repair guy. It builds muscle, skin, hair, hormones, and enzymes. If you train and don't eat enough protein, you're basically tearing down the house and not sending anyone to fix it. Good protein examples are eggs, steak, chicken, Greek yogurt, mince, salmon, and your occasional protein powders and so forth. The rule of thumb for blokes trying to train is about 1.5 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. You don't need perfection, just make sure protein is in every meal you eat. Breakfast, have some eggs. Lunch, maybe some chicken and some rice. And then dinner, maybe some mince or a steak and some veggies. It's that simple. Carbs. Carbs are fuel. They give you training energy, brain function, better mood. When blokes cut carbs too low, they often feel flat, drained, and mentally exhausted. Some good carb examples are rice, fruit, potatoes, oats, sourdough. Carbs aren't your enemy. Overeating them is. Carbs around training, smart. Carbs when you're doing nothing all day, probably not the best thing. Now fats. Fats are your hormone support system. They help with testosterone, brain health, joint health and function, and vitamin absorption. Examples of this are your egg yolks primarily, red meat, avocado, olive oil, butter. Cut fats too low and you will feel rubbish and shit in the long run. Balance wins. Now, part 3, micronutrients. This is very underrated. Micronutrients are your vitamins and minerals. They don't directly change your weight, but they affect your energy, immunity, mood, recovery, and sleep. And where do you get them from? Your fruits, your vegetables, high quality meat, and high quality dairy. If your diet consists of protein bars, McDonald's, and energy drinks, you're undernourished, even if your calories are right. And here's where most blokes overcomplicate it. It's with whole foods. If 80% of your diet is meat, eggs, fish, fruit, vegetables, potatoes, rice, Greek yogurt, all of them whole foods, you're probably covering your calories, your macros, and your micronutrients without obsessing. Whole foods are harder to overeat. They keep you fuller and they stabilize your energy. So get some variety throughout your day. That's not extreme, that's sustainable. The internet rewards extremes. Keto shredded in 6 weeks. Carnivore cured everything. Track every gram or you're lazy. But you don't need extremes. You need consistent. Most blokes don't fail because they don't know enough. They fail because they try to be so perfect. You don't need to become a nutrition expert. You need enough protein, sensible calories, mostly whole foods, and consistency. Do that for 6 months and you'll feel different, look different, and think clearer. If you're a normal bloke trying to get leaner, stronger, and sharper without turning food into a full-time job, subscribe. I break this stuff down so it actually makes sense. If this helped, drop a comment telling me what confused you most about nutrition. I'll make a next video on it.